250 years ago, Long Island wasn't a sprawling suburbia, it was a war zone.
Patriot privateers would attack people on Long Island. They saw them as loyalists.
British warships filled these waters where whaleboat warfare played out.
On the southwest corner of Port Jefferson Harbor, 70 armed whaleboats came in and landed and led a Patriot assault on a fort at Setauket.
Neighbor turned against neighbor.
It was a split, and it really was a civil war in many ways.
The island was the scene of bloody battles between Washington's army and the Redcoats.
It's not just what happened in Philadelphia, Boston, or South Carolina. It happened right in your own backyard.
But a secret spy ring from Long Island helped save the revolution.
Washington himself at one point says, "This intelligence comes from the channel upon which I most depend."
I'm Doug Geed.
And I'm Elisa DiStefano. Newsday TV is celebrating America's 250th anniversary, commemorating the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
We're looking back at Long Island's pivotal role in the American Revolution and how it impacted our nation's future.
The island was the site of the war's largest battle and a 7-year British occupation.
It was also the home of George Washington's crucial Culper spy ring, which was based right here in Setauket.
George Washington is appointed as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, and early in the war, he is totally lacking any information about what the British are doing.
That lack of information proved costly. Just 2 months after the Declaration of Independence was signed, what would become the largest battle of the 8-year-long Revolutionary War took place in Brooklyn. George Washington led colonial forces in what was called the Battle of Long Island.
The British outwit him multiple times.
In a stinging defeat, the British took control of Manhattan and its vital ports, and Long Island and its vital farmland. Washington knows he has to rebound.
One of the first things he does is basically create a special unit for intelligence gathering.
That unit eventually became the Culper Spy Ring. It was headed by Benjamin Talmadge of Setauket.
He recruits Setauket farmer Abraham Woodhull as the chief spy. Eventually, Woodhull finds Robert Townsend of Oyster Bay working in the city for his father, who becomes the chief spy in the city.
They had to get some kinks out and bugs out, and it's not easy to just have civilians do intelligence work. But they eventually became a very robust intelligence network.
The spy ring made up code names for themselves. They also used a system of numbers to refer to people, places, and things. They'd later use invisible ink on correspondence. But other tales of their trickery were exaggerated or just not true.
And the most famous myth is that Anna Strong is communicating with Abraham Woodhull across the harbor by using her clothesline. She would put up a black petticoat on and then up to 4 white handkerchiefs telling Woodhull where Caleb Brewster was hiding. And it would be a great way to communicate, but there's no proof it ever happened.
But there's no question the ring provided valuable information about the movement of British troops on the island, leading to successful raids on their various strongholds.
Washington greenlights attacks on Fort Franklin and Lloyd Harbor, Setauket, Sag Harbor, which is a British outpost.
In fact, many historians say without this group of Long Islanders, the outcome of the revolution would have been very much in doubt.
Washington himself at one point says, he writes a letter to, I think it's General Nathaniel Greene, that says, this intelligence comes from the channel upon which I most depend. And he's talking about the Culper spy ring.
I made my way to Oyster Bay, another focal point of the America 250 celebrations, because Oyster Bay is not only the home of the 26th President, Theodore Roosevelt, it was also a vital Revolutionary War intelligence hub. And that brings me here to Raynham Hall.
Raynham Hall was the home of a Patriot family. It was the home of Samuel Townsend, who was a well-known Patriot leading up to the Revolution. And he was forced to sign an oath of allegiance to George III after his family home was occupied. At some point during the Revolution, the son of the family, Robert Townsend, agreed to become a spy for George Washington.
You could learn more about the spy ring and the Townsend family here at the Visitor Center. From the Townsend family to the first family of fireworks. Fireworks symbolize American independence, patriotism, and the bombs bursting in air from the national anthem. And one Long Island family has been helping America celebrate for almost 200 years.
From small shows to some of the biggest ones. No matter the size, most would probably agree, a fireworks show can amaze and exhilarate viewers of any age. So with the 250th anniversary of our country on July 4th, a Long Island company is getting ready.
In the history of our company, the biggest 4th of July ever.
Fireworks by Grucci is one of the largest pyrotechnic companies in the world. Based in Bellport, the company can trace its roots on Long Island back to 1905, and Italy decades before that, making it the oldest family-run fireworks company in America. On July 4th, they'll produce 60 different shows coast to coast.
It's a big day. It's a 250th anniversary of our country.
The two biggest shows, Las Vegas and on the Hudson River in New York.
And we hope that what comes out of this is people just relax a little bit, enjoy themselves, and celebrate what we have, which is freedom.
Phil Grucci leads the company, which has had 6 generations of family members work for the business. It's a company that's seen its highs and lows, including an explosion in 1983 at its Bellport warehouse that killed 2 family members and injured 24 others.
And it was a complete wipeout. I mean, we were decimated.
But rising from those ashes, Grucci says the company has grown stronger and safer, opening locations around the country and in the Middle East. Part of their strength, he says, has come from Long Island, where it draws the vast majority of its pyrotechnicians, like Michael Wassmer. He says he got the fireworks bug as a kid and now travels the world for the company.
Once you feel the first shell go off, and then you hear the finale go off, and you hear the people cheering and clapping, it just makes you want to sign up and come back the next time.
Phil Grucci, who plays a creative role in just about every show, has pushed the use of technology to continually innovate and wow audiences.
We have to match the fireworks to it, and the music as well.
The company has been celebrated for the enormous size of its shows, music, and drone-like choreography along with the fireworks. Grucci is even adding pyrotechnics to its drones.
The movement, the dynamics tells a beautiful story, so it adds that third dimension to it.
This is where Grucci is pushing the envelope.
We have pushed the envelope. We got the first Guinness World Record with this.
But even though Fireworks by Grucci has turned into a global company, the family says its roots here on Long Island and in the small village of Bellport run deep. And that's just the way they want it to stay.
And I've said this to my wife thousands of times, we'll never leave Bellport. You know, I will never leave Long Island. Now, we have to, due to the business growth, we had to expand beyond Long Island, but we're Long Islanders. That show is coming out of Bellport, Long Island.
In Bellport, Andrew Enger, Newsday TV.
Of the 56 people who signed the Declaration of Independence, only one was from Long Island, William Floyd. This is the house where he was born. This house goes back to the early 1700s, the estate now part of the National Park Service. Well, obviously, William Floyd, an ardent supporter for the war for independence, but at the time of the Revolution, many other Long Islanders were not.
It really was a civil war in many ways. Well, Huntington and Suffolk County in general were more supportive of the Patriot cause. Nassau County, Queens County was more of a loyalist, and there were plenty of people, a large percentage, who were neutral and didn't really want to take sides.
In fact, only about a third of Long Islanders were patriots, supporters of the war for independence. Another third were loyalists, people who wanted to remain under British rule. And the other third were neutral. All of this made for lots of tension across Long Island, which was under British control during the entire war. Families themselves were split.
In Setauket, there was a physician by the name of Dr. Murson, but he was an avowed loyalist. And 1 or 2 of his sons were loyalists. One of his sons was a patriot, and he was injured in a battle in Lloyd's Neck.
He ended up dying from those injuries. Not only did he lose his son, but Dr. George Mearson lost his home. He was an early practitioner of smallpox inoculations. This colonial map shows the location of a hospital he ran near his home. This is what the location looks like today, right across the street from this park on Oldfield Road. Because of his loyalty to Britain, his property was confiscated after the war, and he was exiled to Connecticut, a fate that happened to other Long Islanders as well.
if you're portraying yourself as a loyalist, when the war is over, you could have everything taken from you. And some people did. There's 4 people in Suffolk County that had everything taken from them.
And ironically, the split in allegiance among Long Islanders occasionally resulted in people on the same side fighting each other. That was the case of Phillips Rowe. He lived in this house, which is still standing in Port Jefferson. He was a member of the Culper spy ring that was working for George Washington. He pretended to be a loyalist to keep his espionage a secret, but that made him a target of patriots.
Patriot privateers would attack people on Long Island. They saw them as loyalists. And even though these guys were part of the Culper spy ring, that's the problem with concealing your identity, is you can be attacked by people that think you're a loyalist, and they'll rob you.
Then there were families that played both sides of the coin.
They would split the family on purpose. They would have like one son join the Continental Army and another join a loyalist, colonial unit, hedge their bets. They figured, if they had somebody on both sides, however the war went, they could survive it.
The buildings here in Oyster Bay hold history. This is the Snouter Building, which was once home to Snouter's Corner Drugstore, established in 1884. Inside was the area's first telephone, which Teddy Roosevelt used while covering news as governor and president. It's now a new French experience, so let's go inside.
Welcome to L'Etoile. We're so excited to have you.
It is so beautiful in here.
Thank you so much.
Most of it looks brand new, but I know there's some history in these walls.
So one of the coolest things about the restaurant is that all of this wood you'll see in the beams and even in the columns by the bar is that it is all original wood from the original structure of the building, just kind of repurposed and brought back to life.
So the menu is French?
Yes, so this is our first venture into French cuisine. And on the menu, we'll have a variety of food, anything from French onion soup to the most spectacular seafood, which is actually what we'll be trying some of today. Oysters in Oyster Bay were in abundance during the Revolutionary War, which is part of how the town got its name. And during the war, they were food for civilians and soldiers. And just tying back to the town and its history, it was so important for us to include them on the menu.
Thank you. So we'll have some oysters in Oyster Bay?
Yes, we will have some oysters. We serve them with a raspberry minuet, a cocktail sauce, and a cucumber jalapeno lime sauce with also a hot sauce.
Okay, when in Oyster Bay.
Exactly. Cheers to America 250.
You can take part in the celebrations of our country all summer long,
including reliving history right here in Setauket. Walk along the Washington Spy Trail. It's a 50-mile stretch of Route 25A. It honors the Culper spy ring and traces the espionage and whaleboat network used to send intelligence to General George Washington.
or visit more than 100 historic sites, reenactments, exhibits, and monuments across the island with the free Suffolk 250 Road to Independence Passport Guidebook.
And step back in time at the Hofstra University Museum of Art's Our Unfinished Revolutions exhibition, spanning the Revolutionary War to the Civil War to the Women's Rights Movement, now through July 24th.
You can find a complete list in Newsday's fun book on Newsday.com.
250 years later, the battlefields are now quiet neighborhoods here in Setauket, Southold, Sag Harbor, and Oyster Bay.
But let's remember that preserving democracy is an ongoing battle for people today as well as yesteryear. I'm Doug Gee.
And I'm Elisa DiStefano. From all of us at Newsday TV, we wish you a happy and safe 4th of July.